Hello and welcome to Secret Frequencies. I am your host, Slokey. We're here with Eckhaus. What's up, Eckhaus? Welcome to the program. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I'm super happy to be here. Thank you, Slokey, for having me. And welcome to Secret Frequencies.
Secret Frequencies. So, talk to me. What have you been up to, dude?
What I've been up to, man, the last 6 months, I've been up to this project called Broad Street Bully, which is set to drop February 15th.
And with the plug!
Yeah.
I'm also plugging this too because I'm on one of the songs.
Yeah.
So
That's a fact. Track 4, actually.
Broad Street Bully coming out February 15th to all things that play music.
All platforms, all platties.
Except vinyl.
Except vinyl, yeah. Although maybe a one vinyl version wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Other than that, I've been working on some Tender Porter stuff. We just dropped a song on AO Trip Records. It's a label out in Finland. Also working on just like some other stuff for after this. Like think about what like the next move is for after this project drops. Visuals as well, and doing the executive side of No Hype Music as well, like behind closed doors type of thing with that. So that's pretty much it, man. I've had a lot on my plate though, for sure, more than recent,
Yeah. So talk to me about No Hype for a second. What's going on with No Hype?
Oh, No Hype, we got a lot of things going on. A lot of records coming out. Especially this month and next month. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the near future. Compilation maybe in the works for that, but it's probably all I can say right now.
Word, I feel you. So let's talk about like your kind of like some influences and like how you got started. What made you want to be like, yo, I'm fucking about this music shit. I want to do it.
About producing?
Yeah, or just like making music in general. Or did it like come more like DJing first for you, or like when?
I definitely did start DJing like very first. Like I think I got the controller. I got a Tractor S2 first. I can't really remember though. I think I got the actual the drum machine, the machine from Native Instruments first. I think that I'm really, it's a little hazy, but I know it was all like within the same year. I know it was like I was 19 or 20 when I was like, all right, I'm putting it, I'm getting it going. And my dad actually helped me get my first, both of them. He actually helped me like split it. So that was plus. Shout out Dad. Dad's a big a big influence too, because he was in like a band for a while and played bass. So it was cool.
What was your dad's name, or his band name? I mean,
called the Yellow Bench. They were like
the Yellow Bench.
Yeah, it was like a funny story. Like there's like a whole deep thing about that. But
is it like part of the Yellow Submarine?
No. It was like a bench that they actually used to hang out at and like jam and like hang out and like do what you would do in the 70s. Hippies, a bunch of hippies. So. It wasn't like, I don't think they recorded any music. They would play a bunch of shows. I've seen them play live, like in like bars and stuff, like even when I was like 19, 20.
Shout out bars.
It's a little family band. Like one of the other guitar players is like a cousin, so it's cool.
Bars,
music was definitely always played around the house, and like definitely just music was just always around.
So what's up, man?
Influences though as artists, you want to know?
Yeah. What's like what's some artists that you look up to, or you like just listen to on the regular?
Definitely as far as like actual like singers, like vocalists, Kid Cudi is definitely my favorite. But producers, I would say like Dr. Dre, obviously, Dilla. I'm thinking like Scott Storch, Alchemist, the RZA. I mean. My bad. Just so like I could go on for days about like producers, especially hip hop. EDM style is like I could also go on for days, but definitely those core couple guys, Diplo, Skrillex, you get the gist. But definitely Alchemist for sure, and the RZA for sure.
Word.
Just love the sampling.
Yeah. So, do you use sampling a lot when you make music, or you kind of like, do you make music based off a sample? Or you kind of try to make a sample work into something you're already working on?
So like, I mean, it depends. Like with Broad Street Bully, there's actually only one sample bass track, and it's one that you happen to be on. But when it comes to sampling, it's just like you hear it. Like sometimes I'll hear the sample first, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta sample that, flip it or something, and just do it. Just, if it stinks, it stinks. All trial and error, but sometimes, majority of the time, you come out with some dope stuff. I like to chop it up in machine first. So,
Word. Yeah. So let's talk about like Broad Street Boy for a sec. So like, what kind of brought that project together?
oh, word! I'm happy you asked that. The reason why we're all here right now. So the reason, like, I mean, it's like kind of a deep idea that it came to me over time. But I had made the first beat, which I called Broad Street Bully, and I was working on a lot of beats from quarantine, and like I was in between like laptops, my laptop that I had for like 4 years when I really like got serious into like producing, which was like my baby. I didn't even have it backed up or anything. Like totally died on me. So when I got the new one to now, it's been like 6 or 7 months, something like that, and I dropped the first beat, and one of my big homies, one of my homies that's also on the actual project itself, is a producer collab. He was like, "Yo, like this song is tough. Like you should just name this like the whole project because I had like a bunch of beats in the stash, so I've been thinking about dropping a big project for a while anyway."
High-spec the clock here. The high-spec until there. When they say it, come now. There it is. You done roasted.
My whole style this whole year, like when dropping beats with visuals, has been like Philly in the background or something to do with Philly because I'm now been here a year, and it's just like totally like trying to solidify my existence in the city. So Broad Street Bully is like what the Flyers were called back in the day, right?
Right.
So I figured like at first drop a bunch of like heavy beats, big like big subs, like big sounds, And then, like, also filter in some of my chill stuff, because, you know, you gotta have, like, a little night and day type of concept, too. And you'll see, like, if you check the, you know, the actual track list or listen to all the songs, some of them are labeled or named different spots in Philly in, like, different neighborhoods.
Like what?
So, like, first is, like, Broad Street, obviously. Broad Street is, like, if you're not from Philly, is, like, the kind of, like, the main strip, and it can take you from, like, South Philly all the way up to North, or, like, vice versa, and you can get off and, like, go off in between. You can hit Center City, which is, like, the big tourist attraction, obviously, or, like, it's also, like, really nice to be part of. It's the kind of, like, Manhattan of New York, I would say.
Right.
And then after that, another one that's kind of about Philly is Snyder.
Next stop, Snyder, for routes 37, 79, and Methodist Hospital.
Little note about that. So I recorded that one. The intro and the outro are actually sound effects from SEPTA. Like, from the train. When I got on the train one day, I was like, oh, you know, like...
You ever been to that Walgreens at Broad and Snyder?
Nah.
It's the most hood Walgreens.
Yeah, it's probably the worst.
There's always people, like, in their fights, like,
I've
security.
seen it walk past it. It's just, like, there's always people congregating out of it, right? Like, is that the one?
Yo, there's this crazy video I was watching on YouTube the other day. It's like, this kid comes in, it's like the skinny white kid who's, like, just trying to steal some... I don't even know what he's fucking stealing. Some bullshit. He, like, stuffs it in his pants. And the security guard is, like, tinier than him. And he's like, hey, you gotta put that back. I'm calling the cops. You stay right here. He's like, hey, I'll put it back. Just don't call the cops. And he's like, nah, bro, I'm calling the cops. So then he tries, like, to, like, grab him, like, from leaving. And, like, this guy just keeps running. And he's just, like, literally just, like, on the ground as his kid's, like, kicking away, pulling him away. He's like, nah, I need to go, man. Just, like, I put it back to let me go. He's like, no, you're staying here. I'm trying to call the cops. And like the cops actually show up and finally, but like there's literally this dude is like on the floor being dragged by this guy trying to get out of there
Oh,
because like
man.
he's just like fucking
Like,
I don't know 5'1" or
no.
something. Like he's this tiny guy trying to be a security guard. There's no business being a security
How do
guard.
you get that job?
Right.
But yeah,
But shout out Walgreens.
shout out Walgreens.
Sponsor us. Send us, I don't know, cheap convenience food. I could use some Snickers.
Mountain Dews, Red Bull.
Some Mountain Dews. This is
Um,
brought to you by Mountain Dew.
but yeah, I mean, there's also like a bunch of other ones too about Philly. The Devil's Pocket is
Right.
a little neighborhood by the Schuylkill. And
So
the
is every
last-
track on the album supposed to be about like a different part of Philly? Or, like-
No. I mean, that was one of the ideas I was thinking of making the project, but I felt like that, like sprinkling them in between, like could also like give you a different vibe because like in a trip, like in a journey, is what I was trying to give like the listener like a little journey around Philly or like my personal journey around Philly. There's also Liberty Lands, which is in Northern Liberties. We got Ox, which is a block on in North Philly.
Yeah, that's where
And-
Maddox comes from.
I don't think so. I didn't plan for it to be like that.
No, I'm just saying, like, his name. Do you think his name's not Ox, bro? It's not.
No.
I'm just saying, do you think he's from Ox?
If he thinks he's a bull,
I know he's from
like
North
a
Philly
ox,
somewhere.
like a big bull. I don't
Shout out
know.
Maddox.
Maybe that's
Send
like
me
a
a
play on
fidget
bull.
spinner.
Like, yo, what's up,
Mhm.
bull? Like young bull, like, yo, your little ox, like Matt Ox. You know, like,
Yeah,
like that's
maybe.
it. But yeah, there's a couple. Not all of them are based upon Philly though. And it's just like, you know, just like my journey, and then like everything else is like kind of peppered in. You could go track by track if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go track by track. What do you
Wanna go
mean?
track by track? All right, let me pull the track list. So first we have Broad Street Bully. Kind of went into that too. So like where I used to live, I just moved like in a new part of Philly, but where I used to live, I would walk down Oregon and hit the Broad Street line. So like that was the first one. That's why I called it that. Second one, the second track, What's Groovin'? Yo, what's up? It's Eckhaus, and you're listening to Secret Frequencies with my man Slokey. It's a collab with Just Kev. Shout out Just Kev. That one, I actually only made like the flutes, and I sent him that to like actually to work on with another rapper, and the rapper eventually passed on the track, and I was like, yo man, like he sent something back that was just so crazy with the flutes, like he had all the drums and everything in it, and I was just like, yeah dude, I have to put this on my project, and if this kid's gonna pass on the track, so that's track number 2. That's a collab with Bitsky. Shout out Bitsky.
Bitsky.
So I had the original beat. It was like, didn't have, the sample in it.
Right.
And it was just like flutes and a drum. And
yeah, I remember because you sent me that beat and it was like, it's pretty much the same beat, but.
Yeah, but the sample definitely like pushed it along.
Yeah.
And he chopped it up like the whole actual wave of the song, and then we recorded it. And you should probably tell the people at home and also myself, because I'm curious how those lyrics came about and like if they're about anybody or.
I mean, not really, bro. I just listened to that fucking Peter Gabriel song. It was kind of inspired by that. Like I had like 1 or 2 lines written really, and then I just kind of went off the City Lights thing with the fucking the boom boom boom.
Yeah,
fucking
you
sample.
Killed that part, bro. You definitely fed off of that, bro.
Yeah, so that's kind of it's definitely inspired by the sample.
No doubt, no doubt. And then, like, what's your process like, though, when you're writing?
When I'm writing?
Yeah. We're flipping this interview upside down. I'm asking you the questions for a little bit.
You do not ask the questions. I will be asking the questions.
I'm asking questions here.
999!
No!
I don't know, man. It depends. Just trying to make stuff rhyme.
True, I guess. All right. That's why he's not giving away the secret sauce today, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know, man. It's
Tune in
different for every
another
song.
episode with Slokey's
Like, you know, I'll write songs, like...
Is it based on, like, feeling they're
Well,
having?
usually based off the beat, because usually I'll write the beat first.
Of course,
or,
yeah.
I don't know, it depends if I'm working with somebody, too. Because, like,
But,
for this
like,
one, obviously the beat was done...
You sent me lyrics, like, super fast.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's why I was kind of... Like,
I mean, I usually go... I
Just
can
in
make
the
a
lane.
melody, like, right away, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't necessarily have, like, words for it. So sometimes I'll just, like, hum something and make a hum track and then write words to it after I hear the humming, you know what I mean?
This guy, yeah. Definitely check some of his music out, because this guy, like, his singing...
Yeah, I got some music. I did some things.
So we continue with the track list?
Let's continue.
Yes, continue. He needed a beer break. Alright. So, after City Lights, which is probably the most radio-friendly track on the project, as I'll conclude that one, we have Liberty Lands, which that one... I don't always start with the drums first on the track, and especially not on, like, a lot of the project that I do that in my production. But this one especially, I know for a fact I made the drums first, and then I was trying to fill in with the melody, like how to fit it in. And if you're a big production buff, you could hear that, like, a lot of the percussions or the hats are panned to a certain way, and if you listen to it in headphones, it sounds pretty sick.
Sick.
And like I said, also Liberty Lands is like a North Philly spot. Like, it's a little park too. So that's pretty dope. Track number 6 is Basilica. Basilica Church of the Saints of Peter and Paul, I think is the name, is like the biggest church of Philadelphia. So like, I literally wanted like making a lot of the names. I was sitting on Google, like looking at the map of Philly, and like Googling things about Philly and stuff like that, which kind of ties into like almost all the names for the most part.
Right.
So yeah, and then we got Ox after that. Ox kind of sounds like you ever hear that one Justin Timberlake song? I don't know why it's stuck in my head, but Cry Me a River. Like when I hear that song, I start singing Cry Me a River.
Cry me.
Definitely not the same song you're singing, but
What?
Cry Me a River.
It's at the end.
Oh, I
literally just heard that
got
come
me
on
to
the
sing on
radio
this
the other
podcast.
day.
I'm not doing that again.
Hey, hello, this is Kermit. You're listening to Secret Frequencies with Slokey. You done messed up.
But yeah, that one's like one of my favorites. Like, I mean, they're all like really my favorites, but that one just like is, I don't know, it's just different for me, for sure. Try to sound a little like maybe an Uzi type beat if we were gonna do that kind of category with it.
Uzi type beat.
Yeah. And then track 8, collab with Nero. Shout Nero Lamech, homeboy from Jersey. He over the summer, actually, before my laptop like crapped out and I had to get a new one, he actually was talking to me about this idea of doing a project with like sampling punk or rock songs into like beats and like doing that kind of concept. And he told me he really wanted to use this POD sample. So there's 2 actual samples. My bad, I lied. There's 2 samples. And it's POD, Youth of the Nation. And I don't know if you guys know that one, but you'll hear it.
We are.
Yeah.
That
That's
one.
it. Nail on the head. You got that one right.
Bro, you tell me I don't know Cry Me a River?
You were singing it so bad. That was awful. I hope you like double take to the Cry Me a River again in the editing, but maybe not. But yeah, so Nero actually sent me pretty much almost a whole done project. Like, it was a really great show. It was like 808 drums. He had to sample a little bit in there. and I just added like some piano, some strings, and did like a little quick mix on everything. And then actually right before I uploaded everything to, distribution, he did me like a little solid on the mastering on that one. And it was just like, it just came together really well. Like, I love working with Nero. Nero is actually one guy that I've looked up to in the Jersey nightlife scene for a long time, because he's been in it from like the Deco days, like way back. If you guys are from Jersey and know that, like my Jersey fam. So
Jersey.
But yeah, so that concludes that one. And still on Jersey producers, we got like 2 more Jersey producers actually collabed after this. The second one is a neighborhood in Philadelphia. It's a small neighborhood called Devil's Pocket. Making faces. Damn, I'm being all serious. Oh, I'm here. That should be a
Bro,
good...
this is super serious.
There really hasn't been a discernible sound of Philadelphia since the mid-70s. It's almost like the way that the city is divided up into all these small neighborhoods.
Yeah. Spooky? Do you think I'm spooky?
Devil's Pocket, just that, sort of declares itself this little entity.
So the Devil's Pocket is like a really small neighborhood by the Schuylkill, like I said earlier. And Spooky sent me, like, another guy who sent me, like, almost like a done track. And I just kind of jazzed it up. I added some vocals to it, like vocal sampling from Arcade, some perks and stuff. I did, like, more so the mixing and mastering on that one. And I also sampled a little interview from this band from back in the 70s called The Devil's Pocket. And it was really dope to add there. And honestly, you might actually expect a project with me and Spooky, the Spooky Boys together, like a little joint project from like the two of us. So
Spooky Boys.
Yeah, shout out Pete.
Spooky
Shout out
Boys.
Pete. Yeah, sure. And shout out Will Cruz and the Adventurous crew for actually putting me on to him as a producer. They've been working with him on some other stuff lately, and the Adventures have always been like my go-to artists and my big bros for sure. So definitely shout out to them. And the last jersey and the last collab, but Mans actually lives in Seattle now, probably moving in the next couple of years or this year to another country. But Sir Nicholas, let me just talk about Sir Nicholas as the homie first. Like, that dude, talk about influences. Oh, Man's fucking, if he never got a machine and showed me a machine, I wouldn't even be a producer today. Like, I'll say it like that, flat out. I remember the first time he came to my crib when I used to rap, like when I used to think I was cool and I was like a rapper, which is like a real joke. But he showed me his machine and I was just like so like infatuated by it. Like, just like I was like, damn, like I want to make beats. Like, fuck this rapping shit. Like, this is a definite better like display of like what I want to make, like definitely better than having to like voice it with my words. That's just how I feel. And over the years, like, he's heard so many bad beats and so many bad tracks, like from the first gens to like the second generation music to even now, like, and I probably would be nowhere without his guidance in music for sure. Like, I'll definitely give him that a lot of credit for that. And that collab, it's called Reunion. pretty much a reunion. I went out there to see him for his birthday in September, and we didn't actually start it then, but like that's kind of why we gave it that name, because it had been a couple of years since I'd seen him last.
Right.
He was living out in the West Coast, so really dope when I did like some of the chords and stuff, and I sent it to him like as like loops, and he just like produced the whole track, like getting kind of like Just Kev, like type of atmosphere with that one. And then the last three have different meanings. I'll give you oh shit, I keep losing it here. Here we go. So Foreplay and Breakup, those were actually two submissions to another label for their compilation that actually not so got denied, but they just didn't fit the sound for that compilation that they were going for. And you can check out PFLG, that the label it was for. But yeah, there were like I was like going for R&B with those two, and obviously by the names, like you can tell that there is somewhat a little sexual in the audio. Not that there's any sex samples or anything like that, but it's just like something you would play, you know, when you're laying down with a lady or a significant other. And, you know, foreplay leads to some other things, and then sometimes if the relationship ain't going well, you end in a breakup. So that was that. And then the last one, it's called Bella Vista.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Bella Vista is a spot in Philly, South Philly. It's like a little neighborhood, but right by the water, kind of like by Columbus, like right over there, like off of Oregon, but like not so much. I'm not really entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
Don't.
But yeah, that one was actually originally for this artist, Sophie B. And I was, she didn't want it anymore. Like it just didn't fit her style, and I figured I'll use that to close it. And a little side note, it starts with some like birds chirping. It's like kind of like a family thing, but my dad's a very spiritual guy, and he always told me like when after my grandparents passed away, his mom and dad. He's like anytime he hears like birds chirping, he like thinks it's them or like thinks of them. So like I added that in the little intro for that, and also like to give it like a sunny day. Like you hear birds chirping on a sunny day, you don't really hear them chirping when it's like rainy and nasty out. Like they usually come out when it's like a beautiful day and they're flying around. And you're like, oh wow, it's a nice day. But if you hear that song, it's like a nice little chill way to like kind of ride out of the project. And then the last and final track is the instrumental to City Lights, because we had to give them the instrumental version, So that's the whole track list. 14 tracks in all with the instrumental.
14 tracks.
It's going to be on all platforms. I actually just made a Bandcamp, BeatStars, and Audius for this project.
Oh,
so it's going to be on that too, as well as iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. What am I forgetting? YouTube,
Spotify, SoundCloud.
It'll be on my personal
YouTube. Shazam. TikTok.
TikTok. Deezer, I think.
These nuts.
Instagram.
These grams.
These ounces. We're not going to get into that, though. I probably have some family trying to watch this. I don't know.
These families' daughters.
Shout out to
these families' daughters.
Yeah, you said it. You know what I'm looking forward to, though? After this, getting some food with this guy and talking about other music possibilities to come.
Music possibilities.
Yeah, because the grind don't stop, man. And I just wanted to say that for this project, it was like really roughly 6 months of me like waking up in the morning and just opening my laptop and getting after it, at least for an hour a day. And like mostly, more than often, it was all day. I'd end up producing beats, like because of quarantine and like the COVID shutdown and everything. And I really wanted this project to just show my growth as a producer, because I've done a beat tape as a different alias like years ago, and I definitely think my music has come a long way since then. Like I'm not cocky or anything. I have a lot to learn, but definitely confident in where I'm going now and where I was.
If you were an alias, what alias would you be?
What was my alias, or you want me to make a new one right now on the spot?
What's your new alias?
My new alias? I mean, I'm not making.
Are you just doing for like like Prince, man?
If I was like
the artist formerly known as, but is now.
I mean, all right, true, but artist formerly known as Eckhaus. If I was to go full fledged with like techno, like deep tech.
Oh yeah.
I have an alias, and I would wear these exact shades for it. And it would be, hello, artist formerly known as Eckhaus is now DJ Shlomo. You are in a mix. I would do it like that, and I would try to make like
DJ Shlomo.
DJ Shlomo, baby, I play only the finest deep in tech, I'm out here. I'm coming to America 2022. Fuck COVID.
In Russia, Shlomo play you.
In Russia, I spin records, but they spin you. You get? You get, yes?
Yes, you get.
All right, enough of that. But yeah. Definitely DJ Shlomo if I did that.
Word. Alright, so that's the whole Broad Street Bowie tape.
That's it, 14 tracks.
What else are you working on? You got some 10th and Porter stuff coming up?
Coming up, yeah. Actually, this month, after this project, is like super jam-packed. So we had the PFLG compilation. I got a placement on that. That's February 12th. Got the project, the Broad Street Bully on February 15th. Then we got on the 19th, I got a collab with Bitsky dropping on the Gradient Perspective. Then the 23rd, I got Tenda Porter track called Bliss dropping on Aspire Higher. And sometime in March, we got House EP's Tenda Porter dropping on Criminals Collective. So yeah, this month until next month is like jam-packed. I hope you get used to seeing Eckhaus and Tenda Porter everywhere and our no-hype artists taking over the game because we're really trying out here. And this whole COVID thing has made us like double down and like focus on us and like.
Oh yeah. So what do you mean by that? What you doubling down on making music or
on investing in myself and
yeah.
our clique and you know getting like-minded individuals together and getting them all in the same room and achieving all our goals together as a team. And you know, as cliche as it sounds, but like all for one and one for all type of mindset. So like that, you know, we did the whole couple compilations this year. We did the one as soon as the outbreak, and then we had Chaos.
Right.
So more compilations and record releases to come on No Hype all the time. Like we're trying to keep that stacked. Our demo email is pretty full, but we're always accepting emails and demos. I was gonna say emus.
Yeah, we accept emus as bribes. If you send us an emu, we'll assign you right away.
Yeah.
But if that emu is a piece of shit, we'll send it back.
And make you pay for shipping 2 times.
Yeah, we'll block your email.
And we'll block your emu.
We'll block your emu with another emu.
Yeah.
Shout out emus.
Limu.
Limu. So what's one of your favorite places you've got to play at?
Ever?
Like ever, yeah.
Webster Hall.
You got to play at Webster Hall?
Twice.
I'd say
2 times. Both in the balcony lounge.
Word.
But the second time was way better because Flux with William was a headliner. And while I was playing, I was going back to back with Matty Beats. Shout out the homie back in Jersey. Well, when we were playing, Keizo and Candy both came up like into the balcony lounge. They like stopped. They were like head bobbing with us for a little bit, like to what we were playing, and then they went to like the VIP area. And like later on in the night, I like shook hands with Keizo, like said what up with him, got him and Candy's promo email, which was like really dope. But eventually, like I don't think I ever sent them anything. But it was a good night. It was a great night, and Flux killed it too. So awesome.
That's crazy. What's up, man? So, if you could play with anybody, though, like, who would you want to perform with?
Like a DJ set?
I mean, just whatever you're into, man.
I would love to DJ for Cudi, because it's just like...
That would be crazy.
Like I said, my favorite artist right now, or like all time, really. Or just even, I would settle for just one studio session, like, and just make a shell that never even comes out. Just one studio session is all I would need. Like, yo, man, your beats are dope. Be like, thank you, Scott. Thank you. Worked so hard for this moment, you know, like something like that. But I would say that, yeah, definitely. That's a big goal.
What's your favorite Kid Cudi song?
Bro, there's so many, bro. I'll tell you 2. My favorite one, and then I'll tell you the one I used for my senior quote in high school. My favorite one of all time, I could probably play and just like vibe out to anytime, is gotta be Cudi's Own. Just like him and the singing and the rapping and the hums, bro. He was ahead of his time when that dropped. And then you ever hear the song "Cleveland Is a Reason"?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I used that one for my senior quote, and the line is, "I'm cooler than a polar bear's toes." I got 2 pretty women by my side, and I'm cooler than a polar bear's toes. So, That was I thought I was pretty cool back then, but little did I know.
Little did you know.
Hello, this is DJ Shlomo, and you're listening to fucking Secret Frequencies with the Slokey.
That was like Russian Kermit.
Hello! Hello, Gypsy. Hello, and thank you for listening to Secret Frequencies. I'm your host, Slokey. Tune in next week. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Pew, 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 pew.